Good morning, welcome to Walking Boxing, Wednesday, August 7th, 2024. And as always, a beautiful morning here in the Masson Ranges. Now, a little bit of disclosure in this video. I've already done one. I've already done a video and I put the exclamation mark on it, put it to bed, was about to upload it when I got home, and then just by chance I was scrolling through social media while Neil takes about his 6th dump for the walk, and I saw that Tim Tszyu has been mandated by the IBF to fight Russia's Murtazalyov for that belt. No date or venue or anything like that has been announced just yet. I'm sure that'll come very soon. But I'm not sure, well, the thing is I'm not quite sure it's going to be that September, was it 22nd, I think it was. So let's wait and see whether it's going to be that date. I doubt it. Maybe there's going to be a little bit more negotiations take place. It is only, about 5 or 6 weeks away, so maybe they'll scrap that date and maybe do it in October or November. But it's interesting that it's all come on the back of something I was sent yesterday by numerous people. A lot of people had their opinions and comments and all that sort of stuff about the comments from Turki Alalshikh in regards to Tim. Now I'm going to just read the statement or his comments or whatever it was. This is what got everyone sort of up and about. He said that just wrapped up an important meeting now with my team, planning for the upcoming fights that we will make for 24-25. I decided to disregard the Canelo fight, this is the Crawford fight, as I don't want it anymore. Instead, I will be focusing for the US market with bigger fights, especially for the legend Crawford. Additionally, I will support making fights for Boots, Haney, Shakur, Ortiz, Anderson. I'm assuming that's Jared Anderson. I'm not quite sure why he'd be still in the mix. Benavides, Zapata, and more. Now, this is the thing that got everyone worked up yesterday. Regarding Tim Tszyu, there's something unclear with the communications from his team, with our team, so I believe I will reconsider his situation. Now, what situation that is, I don't know. Of course, Tim was supposed to be on the Riyadh show on Sunday in LA, and of course was pulled out because of the cut. But the video I did this morning was just pretty much saying to everyone, look, let's maybe just chill a little bit on the panic at the moment. There seems to be this thing about if you're not with Turki Alalshikh at the moment, then you're not in boxing. I haven't subscribed to that, and I won't subscribe to that. The sport's been around for a long, long time, and has survived a lot of different scenarios, depressions, and lack of talent, lack of big fights, maybe lack of promoters with vision, all that sort of stuff. But these days, we still got to remember, we still have Oscar De La Hoya, we have Bob Arum, we have Eddie Hearn, even got the PBC, and that's on the international scale. And then, of course, we've got all the great promoters around the world who are doing great things as well. So I haven't subscribed to that. But what I sort of said in the video was, the earlier video, was that let's just wait until we hear the other side of the story, and that's the no limit side. Now, maybe he did say something about communications. Maybe it was just simply there was a mix-up. And don't forget, Turki Alalshikh's been pretty busy in the last couple of months with everything going on with his show on Sunday, plus all the other shows that are coming up. So let's just say that maybe there was a phone call missed, or maybe there was a missed meeting that they were supposed to have. I don't know. But as I said, my thing was, let's not just panic and blame No Limit for being amateurs or not doing their jobs, because that seemed to be the common thread. See, I told you, No Limit, they're amateurs, they're out of the depth, they don't know what they're doing, it's time for Tim to move on. Well, I never subscribed to that. I think they've done a great job so far. Is there going to be a time where maybe it might be best to move on? Well, of course there will be. There's always that part in a fighter's career or a promotional firm's part of their business. But I think they've done a really good job with Tim so far. And I know, yes, they maybe got caught with their pants down a little bit with the Fundora fight. I get that. But they weren't the first, and they certainly won't be the last to get sort of hoodwinked by some of the powers that be in boxing. So I'm certainly not going to read into that. But in this instance, again, I did say in that video that just, again, after we hear the side of the story, don't be surprised there's a big announcement in the next sort of few days. And alas, about 10 minutes later, I look at social media and there it is, the mandatory with Murtazalyov, who's a very, very dangerous fighter. And geez, you've got to give it to Tim, full credit for him taking on such a dangerous fighter after coming off the first loss of his career. So let's just wait and see what happens with that now. You would think that there will be an announcement from No Limit incoming, and I'm sure we'll have all the details soon, and we can maybe just sit back and relax about that. Because I mean, when it comes to, again, I'll say that Turki Alalshikh's doing unbelievable things. But this thing on Sunday where he got the induction into the Nevada Hall of Fame without ever actually putting a promotion on there, I've got to be honest, I was a little bit sick in my mouth. I threw up a little bit, and yeah, and the WBC, and I just got to pull Neil along here because he's just procrastinating. Procrastinating is the word. He tends to get obsessed with something and then just freezes. I've got to give him a little bit of a nudge. But yeah, look, as much as he's been great so far, I've got to say I'm a little bit over the whole, boot licking, if that's what you want to call it, for the Turki Alalshikh. I think he's still wiping it off his boots after Sunday with all the kissing of his boots that he got. But look, all that aside, look, he's doing an awesome job. He's put on some great shows so far, and I'm sure he will continue to do that. But I'm just not sold on the whole, well, it's Turki Alalshikh or nothing. And look, you even look back to when No Limit got this is here in Australia, where No Limit got the video, oh, it's not the video rights, the TV rights, exclusive rights, and they pretty much took over Australian boxing. And it was said at the time that if you're not with No Limit, then you've got no hope. You're out of the mix. Your career cannot succeed if you're not with No Limit here in Australia. Well, at the moment, we've got 4 world champions, and maybe about to be 5 with Alex Winwood. And guess what? None of them are with No Limit. So it just goes to show you've got the right team behind you, the right contacts, and obviously you've got to take your opportunities, that it can be done. And that's not having a crack at No Limit, that situation. They've got the TV monopoly, and that's great, and they've done a great job with their fighters. But I'm just saying that it's not all or nothing with those companies that seem to have it all. And I think, as I said, that even with Turki Alalshikh, whether he's there or not, I'm pretty sure Bob Arum, well, top rank, I'm not sure how long Bob's got left, but top rank Golden Boy, Eddie Hearn, I'm sure they'll do just fine. They'll survive and continue to put on some of the great fights, in the world today. So I will say another thing with the fights on Sunday, and again, I don't want to seem ungrateful, and it seems like we're always kicking the boots into someone, but I don't want to be ungrateful to the Turk. What's his name? Is it the Turk? No, His Excellency. Now I'm not going to call him His Excellency. He's not my Excellency. And I'm getting a little bit over hearing that, if I'm being honest again. But the shows themselves, I don't know what you guys think, but these 8 and 9 hour long cards, these massive gaps in between, and the red carpet, and the celebrity interviews, and the concerts, and giving away cars, and all this sort of stuff. Look, I don't want to seem ungrateful. Let me be clear. But as a boxing fan, I think we're all the same. We're actually quite easy to please. If you put on the right fights, good, solid, even fights that we all want to see, then we're very grateful. That's all we need. We don't need to be wined and dined, as they say, I suppose, figuratively speaking. We don't need to be wined and dined and all the rest of it. We just need good quality fights on a card that moves pretty quickly. I mean, it was like nearly an hour in between the co-main and main the other day, and everyone just gets a bit over it, especially on a hot day. If you're there in the crowd, the hot day, 1 o'clock in the afternoon it started. It was like 35 degrees Celsius, which is 100 or whatever it is in Fahrenheit or something like that. and you know, it's a long day, and even if you're watching on TV, it is a long, long, long day. So I did read somewhere, and it made a lot of sense, that maybe an option could be is to either split the card, so do it over 2 weekends. I know that's probably hard sometimes for people that are going there for the event from out of town or overseas, whatever it might be. But the other thing was that I think made a lot of sense is to do it over 2 nights. So maybe on the Friday night over there, you know, maybe put on the first half of the card and it's pay-per-view free, so there's no money involved, and then do the bigger fights on the Saturday night, which is the pay-per-view portion of it. So that way, you know, maybe you're getting the best of both worlds. You get people that make a weekend of it, and it makes a lot more sense to maybe get more people there that are coming from all over the place, especially overseas, and say, hey, we've got 2 events for you, not just one, even to the point where the money, like you get a weekend pass, so you buy a ticket and it gets you into both events. So it's just one price, or one price for the ticket, and you get to go to both events. And then the pay-per-view is the Saturday night, the Friday night is free. And I think just everyone wins in that situation. I understand what they're trying to do. I welcome it, I'm appreciative of it. They just don't need to go overboard as much as they are in trying to make it like some big Hollywood event. As I said, we're very, very easy to please boxing fans. We just want good fights that flow, that are even, and we'll be quite happy, and we'll happily fork out the money for those events. Just on that card too, I did see also that Isaac Cruz looks like he's going to enact his rematch clause against Jose Valenzuela, which I welcome. I think it was a great fight. And as a champion, yeah, well, he's got the right to have a rematch, then good luck to him. I was, again, really impressed with Valenzuela. I think he probably gets the job done again, if I'm being honest, but let's see when and if that happens. And one last thing, I'm a little bit surprised as well also that there's been so much uproar about the decision on Sunday about Madrimov. So many people saying he got ripped off. I'll said it once and I'll say it again. Just because you lose a close fight doesn't mean you were ripped off. I know his supporters would be disappointed. I think to the point where his trainer might have said he was this is Joel Diaz, he was disrespected by the decision, him as a trainer. Well, mate, it's got really nothing to do with you. You're the trainer. Boxing's not disrespecting you. But this whole thing about, well, just because you lose a close decision, you're ripped off. Now, it could have gone the other way. I personally think that Terence Crawford won at least 7 rounds to 5, if not 8 rounds to 4, but that's just me. But there was a lot of close enough rounds there that, you know, maybe if it had went the other way, or it was a draw or whatever it might have been, I would have probably been surprised, but just you wear it. Okay, a lot of close rounds, depends on how or what you're looking for when you're scoring the fight. So everyone's got to interpret it a little bit differently. So it is what it is, and I would have got on with it. But people at the moment say, geez, you know, I told you you can't get a fair decision in America, and Crawford's being the A side was getting looked after. Well, I don't certainly see it that way. I just thought it was a close fight, and Terence Crawford won. So there you go. But just getting back to the first point in the video with Tim Tszyu. Yep, good example of just don't panic, wait to see both sides of the story. Don't just read one social media post and think that's gospel. Just do your research, wait a few days, wait till a bit more news comes out, and you just never know. And this is what's obviously happened here. Happened a little bit quicker than a few days. It was literally the next day after Turki Alalshikh's comments. This news with Tim Tszyu being the IBF mandatory now, which means he will get a shot at the IBF belt with Murtazaliev, and then could we see Tim against the the Crawfords of the world, and maybe Ortiz's and all these types of guys. So it puts him right back in the mix. And just one more thing before I go. That one comment in there that did sort of raise my eyebrows when he said he's decided, this is Turki Alalshikh, that he doesn't want Canelo and Crawford anymore. I think if you read a little bit more into it, you would probably see that it would be Canelo saying, mate, I don't need your money. I don't need the fight. Piss off, basically. That's probably what I think that Canelo would have said. I don't need to bow to you. I've done my time. I've earned my stripes like a Floyd Mayweather did in the past, and I don't need you. I don't want the fight. I don't need the extra money. And you've got to remember too, there's this sort of myth at the moment out there that all the fighters on the card are getting paid these astronomical money. Well, I can probably assure you the main event fighters are probably getting looked after really, really well, but I wouldn't be surprised if the undercard, or not the undercard fighters, but the fighters that are also on the card, yes, they're probably getting a little bit more than would on other shows, but not enough that would make someone like Canelo Alvarez sort of turn his head and go over to Turki Alalshikh. So I would think, as I said, that Canelo's just said thanks but no thanks, and Turki Alalshikh has now released a statement saying he's decided against Canelo Crawford. Well, no, it is Canelo who has decided against Canelo Crawford. So there are levels in this sport, even outside the ring as well. As Turki Alalshikh, I think, has probably just found money won't buy you absolutely everything. So anyway, we'll see what happens with that down the track as well. You never know, Canelo, if the offer's enough, might change his mind. So that's it for today, guys. It's probably not the ideal video, if I'm being honest, because I've already done one today. This is just pretty much a quick follow-up. But I hope I've covered some points there, and we'll catch you tomorrow on Walking Boxing.